everyone. So I wanted to come on today and talk a little bit about meal prep. So I know this is something that is kind of overgeneralized and it doesn't need to be. The thing about preparing our meals is that when we take the time and we commit to making these plans, we are giving ourselves we're making ourselves a priority. We're giving ourselves the gift of coming first. And I know that for a lot of you, we tend to put ourselves last. We set ourselves on fire to keep everyone else warm. So when someone decides that they have this need or they have that need, your well planned, organized strategy to eat this specific way and these specific things for this specific goal get put to the wayside, because there's only so much emotional energy that we can expend, and as women we tend to expend that on others. So the way that we can get around being pulled in all of these different directions and letting go of our goals because of that is to plan everything in advance and have it ready to rock and roll. Now, I know that a lot of common issues with this, very valid common issues with this, first of all, is time. I don't have time to organize and to plan. And the other one is I don't have the ability to make meals that my family will also eat. I can't eat different foods than them, and those are both fair. The thing about not having time to make these plans is when you look at it the other way. If you have a goal, let's say it's a fat loss goal, to lose 20 pounds in 2 months. It's not unreasonable. Let's say that in order to do that, you know you have to do these things. You have to plan in advance and eat these meals. But let's say you keep putting things off and saying, oh, I can't do this today because of this. I can't do that today because of this. I don't have anything prepared for dinner, so I'm going to have to go to McDonald's, or I'm going to just go to the grocery store and grab something, and then you load your cart full of things that your hungry mind wants to eat, not your goal-oriented mind wants to eat. So you don't reach your goal. So did you have time, or did you decide that this was not a priority for you? If you had done the opposite and sat down and decided what you were going to make your grocery list, go to the grocery store. Those things happen all the time no matter what your goal is, right? No extra time was spent there. And then you bring it home and you do a strategic meal prep. Maybe it takes an hour, but you're not cooking for the next 3 or 4 days, right? And here's the thing that I wanted to talk about today, because as a mom, it's really important to me that I eat the same thing as my kids. I spent enough time as a competitive athlete, bodybuilding and powerlifting, that I had to eat very specific meals, and I do worry about the message that's sent my kids. Now, I don't want to continue sending those messages, and so I want to eat what they eat. The disadvantage is I have a 4-year-old who can't eat anything that touches, and I have a 14-year-old who's autistic and can't eat anything that doesn't crunch. And so there are some challenges. But this is what I do in order to make it work. I have a strategy session with my family, usually on Friday nights. We sit at dinner, we talk about the things that we want to eat the next week, and we write them down. We make lists of the most rational choices. We can't eat chicken nuggets and Kraft dinner every night. It's just not how this thing works. And I make the grocery list and I go shopping. Everything is planned in advance. So I go to the grocery store with this list, and I don't tend to deviate from the list. Maybe I add a couple things, but I'm not throwing 100 different potential meal ideas in the cart at one time, spending $400 and throwing half of it in the garbage. I know you hear me on this. So when I get everything home, I'm going to prepare. And so let's say, for example, because I only want to cook once, right? And I think that's the goal. Wouldn't that be nice? So let's say we decided that we're going to have tacos, and we're going to have meatballs and spaghetti, and we're going to have hamburgers. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday planned. So I'm going to take out my 3 pounds of meat, of ground beef, and I'm going to separate it all to make the meatballs, and then I'm going to make the patties, and then I'm going to ground the beef in taco seasoning for that. So then when I get home from work on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, the prep for those meals is minimal. I have to warm up the meat that I already pre-cooked. For tacos, the most time-consuming thing I have to do is shred lettuce and cheese and set the table. And for spaghetti night, I have to warm up sauce and I have to cook pasta. That takes about 8 minutes. So these are things that I've done in advance that save me time when I get home. And you know how when you're preparing dinner, you get home, it's been a long day, you're exhausted, the kids are climbing up your leg yelling, snack, snack. You're frustrated, you're annoyed, you know you've got another hour before dinner is on the table, which is going to creep into bath time, which is going to creep into homework time, which is going to creep into your time, and you're not going to bed until midnight now, right? I know you hear me. So instead of all of that, here we are eating at 5 o'clock like normal families, but you haven't spent an hour shoving random snacks in your mouth because you're starving and agitated because the kids are yelling at you. So you've eliminated 2 problems. Dinner's on the table, everybody's happy, nobody's rushing. You didn't eat 5,000 extra calories while you were making that meal. And so then on Wednesday evening, you do the very same thing with meals for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so maybe it's chicken for those meals. Maybe you're going to grill some chicken so that you can repurpose it. And you're going to say, put grilled chicken on homemade pizzas. You buy flatbread from Costco. The rectangle flatbread is awesome. Stonefire, I think it's called. Throw some pizza sauce on there, some fresh basil, some chicken, some cheese. It's in the oven, it's done. The chicken's cooked, right? Because you already did that on Wednesday evening. The next night, that can be repurposed for chicken wraps. Pick up the tortillas at the shopping trip the week before, roll them up, flatten them under a grill, and you've got another meal. See where I'm going with this? We think, we plan, we cook once, and we're eating all week. And that way, you get to eat the same things as your kids, because no matter what your goal, unless it's to be on a bodybuilding stage in 14 weeks, you can have a tortilla wrap because it has about 35 grams of carbs. Who can't eat 35 grams of carbs in one meal? You can have lean chicken because there's nothing wrong with lean chicken. It's a wonderful source of protein, and it's you don't have to add the fat if you don't want to with whatever it is, but I recommend you throw ranch dressing on it. So there's so many things you can do with so few options. And again, you're spending that hour on the front end on Sunday night and on Wednesday night, and you're spending 5 to 10 minutes getting that meal on the table by the time the kids sit down and are starving and ready to eat one another alive. You've saved so much energy, and you get to have that sense of competence that I did this. I stayed on my goal, I ate exactly what I planned, and you don't have to throw out $400 worth of groceries at the end of the week, right? Eating what your kids eat is kind of a goal that we all have as parents because our kids always like different things. So sit down with your family and think, and have them think about what they want to eat, and come together and get creative. So, you know, maybe that first start of the week is ground beef, maybe it's chicken, maybe it's pork for the last half of the week. Maybe you don't mind doing a prep every 2 days for 2 days worth of meals so you can have more variety. Whatever works for your family, but you have to put the energy and effort in up front. Nobody reaches their goals accidentally. Absolutely no one. And if you happened to, good luck maintaining those results accidentally. Accidents don't happen that way. They aren't that successful. So go ahead, sit down with your family, plan it out, do the shopping, come home and do the prep. And oh, added bonus, your kids aren't fighting over all of the dishes at the end of dinner because you prepped on Sunday night and on Wednesday night, and all there are is plates to put in the dishwasher. You're welcome. That's it for tonight. I hope you got some tips. And if you have any that you want to share with anyone else, feel free to pop them underneath the comments here. Have a great night, everyone.